welcome to wonderful Abertillery.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I know you've only just arrived, so you haven't had a chance to look at the scenery or anything yet, but this
we
is
actually arrived an hour ago.
Right.
But our bus was having trouble getting out. So, like, we spent a good 20 minutes going in and out of this thing that just didn't actually happen, and then we backed down and came down. So we've earned our time here today. Like, it's like that anticipation.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah, thank you ever so much. Thank you for, headlining tonight and everything else. We've seemed to be covering you guys for a long time now. I mean, in fact, it was Russell who's behind the camera there, who reviewed one of your first shows in the UK back at the Barfly with Rival Sons. It's now probably about 2 years on. What's this amazing journey been like? It's February 2011?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a year and a half.
Yeah.
What's this amazing journey been like for you guys?
Well, starting from that point, an interesting thing happened. It was one of those, we have Spinal Tap moments, as all bands do, every day, every week. But on that show you're talking about, we went backstage after we played, and the crowd was giving us an encore, and the door shut behind us, and we're literally like banging on the door, but the crowd inside is so loud that they can't hear us, but we're banging on the door to come out for our
So we couldn't get back out.
So, needless to say, there was no encore in that show. Because we were locked literally behind a door which was only a foot away from the audience screaming.
Yeah. We're still apologizing for that.
It's almost like a band nightmare where you think, you tell your friends, oh, we went to England and it was a big success and the crowd was trying to get to us, but we couldn't get back to them.
So could you tell that, Russ, from behind? I've got to bring him in at this point because you were there. Could you tell?
No, I couldn't tell, but I did notice, I think, the door that you were talking about where people were always going in and out.
Yeah.
And probably exactly when you wanted to get out, people stopped going in and out.
Exactly.
I suppose the question most of the guys, your fans out there, troublemakers at the moment would want to ask is, when is the follow-up to Bomb Shelter Sessions going to be coming out, guys? Is it imminent?
Well, that's an excellent question.
Well, we've recorded the record already, basically. Right. We've had so much fortune over the last year with different countries and things catching on to our music. And what we're going to try and do eventually is have the record releases happen everywhere at the same time.
Right.
So it may take a little longer here because we're going to Japan for the first time in August.
Right.
We're going back to Australia, Spain, and some other things like that. So our first record has to be put out in some other places in order for us to catch up. But it's probably looking like probably the middle of next year or spring. So not that long.
Yeah.
And who knows, though, there might be a documentary coming out and some live recordings maybe.
Can you tell us anything about the album, or is it all hush-hush from your album?
It's not that hush-hush.
No?
We had a chance to be home for 3-4 weeks back in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And, we found a recording studio. Pretty much went in like we did at Bomb Shelter Sessions. We just went in and played it. So.
Yeah, it was a recording studio that a lot of us had recorded in before, and for us this time, it was important to become even more into what we preach about. And so we wanted to find like the smallest, littlest studio, no pretension, no jacuzzis.
Yeah.
We wanted to record the tape. We wanted to do full takes like we did the first time. But as you know, when there's not a computer in the studio, that one take means something else.
Yeah.
And it was the most amazing thing for us, because we got to be in Santa Monica, California. We were by the water, but at the same time, it was only a couple blocks away from Harvell's, which is the first place we ever played.
Right.
Before recording that record, we had an idea about going into Abbey Road to get some of the ghosts of the past inside of our bodies and be inspired by so much history and legacy that's been there. So we kind of went from something so grand and then honed it into something so small. Yeah. And we wanted to, according to what our fans have been requesting of us as well, we wanted to capture some of the live energy more on tape than we did the first time. We were only together for 3 months when we recorded our first record. So it also is going to have some of the experience of traveling around the world and playing for different people in different places. We hope that it's going to have the same feel of the first record, but everything's going to be amplified and megaphied and blown out of proportion. But at the same time, for the smaller stuff, we hope that it feels more intimate. It would be sad if the record didn't demonstrate a lot of the things we've gone through. I mean, we've become closer as a family, so I hope that that is heard also on the record, and hopefully a lot of people will get it on vinyl like a lot of people have this time, because it just goes along with the way we recorded it.
I was going to ask you a bit later on about what do you do when you actually have time off, but you just answered it. You don't get time off. That's effectively, you know, it's such an organic thing with you guys. It seems that you just live the band.
Yeah.
Is that correct in my sort of assumption?
We are really lucky in that, you know, I think I can speak for all of us, and that we're definitely doing the thing that we love, and we're very blessed in that perspective. And so what happens is we just, even when we're done, we're off the stage, we're thinking about, okay, well, what can we be doing next? We were home in Los Angeles for a couple of days, and when we have 2 or 3 days, what do? We shot a video, you know, for Not Alright by Me. It was like right before we left out on this last run, I think at the beginning of.
And the video of the song will be released on July 23rd. Not Alright by Me.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, I say this, my mom told me when I was little, is find something you love and make it your life.
Yeah.
And so we're very lucky in that perspective, because, you know, it's kind of, this is our life, and we're lucky we get to do it.
Yeah, it's funny you should say, actually, because what I get from your music and what I did when I first heard it, when we first saw some, you know, rough videos from you guys from the States, was how it felt spiritual. It felt true and real. And I remember posting a thing when we run a competition for the for tickets for the Barfly show, and I remember saying, if you want to listen to real music, there's so much crap out there. Take a listen to these guys, and it was a live video that Duff Press were actually playing at the time, and you could just get it straight away. You could just hear the belief you guys had in what you did, and having tied up front helps again, I guess. But, you know, but is that right?
That's completely right. Also for us, one thing we do during our free time, because, you know, when you're a musician, I think a lot of times people forget to represent where they come from. And so we have so many friends at home that, just due to whatever situations, aren't traveling musicians. So a lot of time during our off time, we see the world.
Yeah.
You know, every day we're in an amazing city that a lot of people have heard of all their lives and haven't had a chance to go to. So it's almost our responsibility to use a lot of our downtime for sightseeing and meeting people and finding out what the culture is like in different places, and finding out what the art is like in those places. You know, it's almost our responsibility. We're kind of representing Los Angeles musicians. There are a lot of people in LA that don't get a chance to go out, and they get to read our Facebooks and our tweets and stuff, and you want to do things to inspire people, and not just about music, but about life. So we have to go see these things. We've got it. It's our responsibility to eat the foods of these places. You know, so you can talk about it, and that gets people excited, because everyone should want to see the world. Absolutely. And so one of our hobbies is making the world seem exciting to people, because then it will make them want to travel more, and make them make their music so that they can travel more. And I don't know, it's a pretty good hobby, actually.
Also on the spiritual side of it, we also give that up to our audience, because basically, we're playing music that that we're feeling, and they're kind of feeling it the way we're feeling it, because what is music? It's a celebration. So we kind of give that back to our troublemakers, because what they're doing is being affected by us, and we're actually being affected by them, So I think that's where the whole spiritual thing comes in as well. It's really a synergy back and forth, and it's the whole room. I mean, we had such a magic night last night. We did a headlining show with just a lot of our troublemakers in Bedford. In Bedford, yeah. It really did feel like a spiritual.
Yeah, it was at the Cornhole Exchange.
Oh,
yeah. So much.
Cornhole Exchange.
Cornhole Exchange.
But so much so, we actually started the show last night. It's only the second time we've done it. We just kind of spontaneously said, why don't we just walk out in the center of the audience before, they expect us to come onto the stage, but all of a sudden you're in the audience and I'm standing right next to you, and Ty will get everyone singing, and we'll all start singing. So the audience is singing with the band in the audience before we even get on stage, and that kind of vibe is so contagious. I think that people really respond to it.
They do, and I mean, we're both members of the Vintage Trouble Facebook group, and we've been supporting you and everything else. But it's the thing that we've been talking about leading up to the day was the enthusiasm and the commitment these guys have to you. It's so infectious. It's almost like they're there saying, come on, we need to do this. We really need to push this show, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been doing our bit this week trying to plug this show, especially because it's in our hometown.
Sure.
You know, and it's where Uber Rock, our website, started effectively in our bedrooms, just probably about 100 yards of the road, you know. So,
ooh, sounds sexy.
no, it's not. If we could get a beautiful place like this as our offices, we would. I'm sure.
It's funny because you guys are talking about how you were on in the beginning. Taz writes for Uber Rock too, right?
She did.
Freelance. She's freelance.
Yeah.
And it was amazing for us because even before the Barfly, our first showcase we did was at Gibson showroom.
That's right, yeah.
And we were about, she was there and we were singing every song before it got to Run Out of You.
Yeah.
Someone kept yelling, Run Out of You!
Yeah.
Who the fuck in this audience knows Run Out of You already? You know, especially because they told us as press everyone's gonna be quiet and all of a sudden you're getting like people yelling. And as it turned out, she had seen a show the summer before we came at Harvell's, and when she saw that we were coming, she was just chomping at the bits to get here, and she's become one of our dear friends now. Yeah. And so right from the very beginning, we felt a connection to Uber Rock.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
But almost to the degree that people think that we have some stock in it. You know, there's been such a good relationship.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Between you guys.
Support from the band,
I mean,
especially in the beginning.
Especially in the beginning. The people like Uber Rock and you know,
Sonic Shock.
Just all, you know,
Christina, isn't it?
Classic rock. Like the people that we've formed early alliances with, like we do anything for them. They do they feel like there's it feels like family. And a lot of times when people say that, it's such a bullshit thing. But we do feel like family with a lot of the journalists and photographers and things like, you know. His pictures on our t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, we met a photographer last night, Nick Hudson, who took our album cover.
Yeah.
It was a great honor for us to be able to bring him on stage spontaneously and introduce him to the audience. And then he has this art gallery. He lives in Bedford.
Right.
They went there when that was over and saw his new exhibit. There's not enough collaboration of artists. Like a lot of times musicians just hang around musicians. We always talk about how it's so romantic, the whole beatnik period, when people would sit around in their black and white striped shirts, but it'd be a musician, an artist, a writer, a photographer, a philosopher, and you would just have these families. And so for us, it's one of the dreams we've accomplished in coming to the UK, really is forming a community of artists and writers and philosophers and designers. Like it's more than we could ever ask for.
You learn so much from each other.
You do. Opposed to when you only hang around musicians, it's like, oh my god, this is my new song. 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 It gets so boring. Yeah. You know, but when you have artists and photographers, you're like, this is my new song, look at my new picture, look at my new story. Like it's more exciting.
Because this, all these musicians on the side and the back of this, the people that helped us set up, the people that put this tent here before we got here, the food. This is what life is about, my friends. Live music and community.
You're doing something a little bit different this time you're back in the UK. Apart from the headline shows, there's a lot of headline festivals. And you're playing a lot of festival shows. What can the Troublemakers expect over the next 3 or 4 weeks from you guys live? Is anything different slightly, or?
I think the good thing about some of these, and we learned it last night in Bedford, is when
bring your wellies.
Yeah, well, bring your wellies. That's one thing. That's for sure. But you know, some of these, if we can just we get a little more time, like tonight, and that's kind of a you know, wide open space for us to relax a little bit. And when we relax a little bit, different and cool things kind of always happen and spontaneously happen, and we just and in some ways we never know, and that's what I think what sort of leaves it exciting for everybody.
Yeah.
You know how that comes about, and it always makes every show a little bit different. So.
Sorry, Ty, go on.
It's just the second time around too. Like when it saw us last year or last summer, it's great for us to come back because it is the second time. It's like the second date. We get to go to the next base together. So people that are what they should expect is to go to the next base with us, and you know, hopefully they should expect to bring their A game, so that the people that are coming to see us come with more energy than last time. That way we can be forced to have more energy, and you know.
And you've played some quite unconventional venues as well. I mean, like the Glee Club in Cardiff, which is more of a comedy venue, and, and a great place like Bath Moles and places like that.
I wonder why people keep laughing at us.
But
we also we played like it's called the Malsis School, I think, like a prep school.
Yeah,
like
we played prep
10, 12-year-old kids, which is amazing. We did like an art school in the UK. We did the St. Pancras train station
Right.
You know, like
like
done a lot of
a taxi cab.
We did a taxi
What's the ship in Bristol?
Oh, that club.
Yeah.
That was great.
I think it's really important for bands, and I don't think they do enough of it. I know it's kind of a blanket statement, but really I don't see a lot of bands mixing it up. Like, you know, a metal band should try to play acoustically. They would learn so much by doing so. You know? An acoustic band should, you know, try to, you know, spice it up by adding a member for a day or something. I mean, there's just so much you can do and make your music so much more well-rounded if you just experience all these different colors. You know?
Well, the interesting thing for me was the first time I saw you guys live was supporting Brian May, and in Cardiff in a venue that's literally made for concertos and orchestras and things like that. Yeah, but to see you guys turn a crowd that was there necessarily for show tunes, because the Kelly Ellis thing, but you had them all dancing and all singing, and it was just brilliant. Again, it was that cool thing about the spirituality and the vibe, and people got it straight away, so it didn't really matter if you were playing for prep school or to theatre goers or whatever, people got you guys straight away. It was just, you know,
but that's been really amazing too with most people, like the crowd in UK in general, like they're so open to new bands and new music, so we felt really welcome right away.
Yeah,
I think that played in our favor too, because we've been playing for, you know, the year and a half or year before that, you know, audiences that were right up on us and stuff, but a very energized bunch, you know, so, you know, we didn't know, I mean, we knew better, but all of a sudden we put us on a theater stage and we're just kind of bringing that same sort of energy. And yeah, you do have to adjust it a little bit for people that are sitting. But had we been, you know, coming up and playing theaters for a year, it might have been a different show, you know. It was actually good for us to play those theater shows. We learned a lot by doing it.
It was when you guys came on in Cardiff and Ty was, come on, get your feet. And I was thinking, I hope somebody told me that security really isn't like people standing up in this place. You're just thinking, you've got them in trouble already, isn't it?
Well, the power of the numbers. So
luckily no one did tell me that, because I probably would have asked him to stand up sooner.
Was that the one with the guy with the yellow jacket? Was that show, the
Freddie Mercury jacket?
Oh, no.
Oh, that was Glasgow, was it? For some reason I thought it was Cardiff.
You've just played with one of my musical heroes, Lenny Kravitz. Was it just was it just in France? No, across Europe. What was it like for you guys playing with someone like that?
You know, I want to say, and I've said it before, and I keep saying it, and I just want to preach it out to the entire world. Lenny Kravitz is the most gracious, amazing, sweetest musician ever. I mean, we've had some great musicians, you know, kind of take us under their wing, but he has really embraced us. Our very first show, we hadn't even met him yet, and we come off the stage into the wings, and it's kind of dark, and there's a man standing there, and it's Lenny Kravitz waiting for us to welcome us. Takes us back to the dressing room. We'll come into our dressing room, you know, before shows and say, "What's up, guys?" We'll give us shout-outs from the stage all the time. Has come twice on encores to the side of the stage where we're just hanging out watching Lenny Kravitz. Comes over to hang out with Ty and give him the mic and sing the encore with Ty. You know, it's happened twice.
Even that very first time too, the first thing he said to us, even maybe before Hello, was, I felt like it was 1967, we were in Monterey, which was cool. I mean, when you hear Lenny, I mean, there's too many things together almost. I mean, I almost had to change my pants after that, because you have one of your heroes saying that your band reminds him of one of the concerts that you would die to have been a part of in your life.
Well, I have to, sorry to jump in, but I have to say that when I saw you guys, the first thing that jumped into my mind was the Stax Bolts tour.
Again, now that's a third one. Why are you guys doing it?
Yeah. You know, and it was so genuine. It was exactly like what you would have experienced from that Stax tour. You know, Booker T and everything else. And, you know, it was just right on the...
It's interesting. We had the same experience, and not in the performing part of it, but just, you know, during that. Did you ever see the documentary of it?
Of Monterey.
Stax.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all on the buses, they're looking outside, and everybody's so excited, they can't believe they're there. And, I mean, we went through that as well. I mean, like, everywhere we go, it's like, oh, I've seen this place so many times. I've heard, like, we were just thrilled. I mean, like, because you don't know what people's reaction is going to be like. And so it blew us away, just like it seemed like it blew them away.
I was getting giddy on the lawn bowling. I've never seen lawn bowling just walking out here today. It was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, and going back to it, my father would have cut the grass on that very
good job.
Many years ago. Yeah, God rest his soul. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little bit here and just ask you if you could to share maybe your proudest moment as Vintage Trouble so far. Is there one defining moment where you actually thought, God, this really is to die for.
That's probably, for me, I would say Jules Holland.
Yeah.
Was a big, you know, I mean, we were completely unknown, and we stepped in there. We heard about Jules Holland, but I didn't know the impact of it all, and for us to get the opportunity to be on there, and with this amazing artist that we played with that evening, and it was a magical moment, and it felt really like it changed something, you know, for us.
Yeah, no, it was a real catalyst in the UK, because suddenly it went viral, and you had everybody talking about this great band. I mean, it happened to the Hives as well, probably a decade earlier, when they had to say Told You So, or whatever it was, out as a single. And suddenly, because this band got up and had the balls to play rock and roll, you know, on what is essentially maybe a more mainstream show, people suddenly go, oh my God, this is like, you know, the best thing since sliced bread. But as we know, that's what music's out there to do for people, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but it's just interesting to find out if it was something maybe not necessarily that oriented to music, whether it was something that,
Yeah, I was going to say it's hard for us because people every day, the people that come to our shows are very giving. So I mean, moments like that are amazing. You know, winning the classic rock award are amazing.
Yeah.
But it's not more amazing than looking out during a show and you see a couple together crying together gracefully.
Yeah.
So some of the moments that for us are the proudest have to do with the way an audience is being affected by a moment.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't talk any less about being in Germany and the entire room in Berlin going down to the ground during Strike Your Light, and then all jumping up to their feet. I mean, we feel just as proud of a moment like that as we do as the Jules Holland award winning thing. I mean, especially because what we base ourselves in is having the audience come and feeling like they're part of the show and like it's a community. So again, some of our proudest moments have to do with the way the audience responded to something that we gave them.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Hello.
Our new member.
Hammond.
And Longhorn.
Saxophone.
We're getting near the end now, guys. I just wanted to ask, because you're one of the best dressed bands out there at the moment, and if you've watched The Wire, you'll know the Bunk, the detective in it, is a suit and tie motherfucker. And I described you guys as suit and tie motherfuckers.
Nice.
Because you live it, you know, you live it. Alright, you just come off a tour bus, literally. So you're not dressed maybe in your finest finery today. But are there any fashion tips or anything you'd like to share with our readers or viewers, I guess, because this is going out on YouTube? So is there anything you feel, you know, you could say is part of the Vintage Trouble vibe?
Well, I could say the opposite of that. If you're not in a surf band, maybe the board shorts and the flip-flops could go, and you could find another pair of shoes or something.
I would like it, the whole thing of for us to put the suits on when we're playing. It's more of a respect thing, and when you put it on, you feel different. You know, you feel like I'm going to go to the stage and play, and it changes your energy.
Yeah.
And it makes us feel even more connected to each other, you know.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's cool. I mean, it's almost like, I don't want to make it sound almost disparaging, but it's almost like you're putting your work clothes on and you are going to work, a bit like the 60s bands would have gone to work.
Sure.
You know, those guys were smart dressers. Yeah. You know, they may have been hired musicians, but they looked the part. You wouldn't have known that, would you? You know, in some of those bands, just going back to the Booker T days and things like that. But they were sharp dressers, those guys, and and Otis and everybody else, God rest his soul. I mean, it's anyway. Sorry, I'm digressing here. I'm going off on tangents there.
Yeah, and also as far as anything, as fashion and design, and you always want to kind of stay classic and maybe don't try and be trendy.
Yeah.
Because then what it does is it allows your music to speak for itself. You know, the more crazy things you got going on the outside, I mean crazy, like oddly crazy, then it's almost like that is just as important as the music, opposed to, just clean and slick and together, and then it makes you have all the colors come from inside you. you know.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to be honest, you know, the only person I know who could make turnips look cool on jeans again. The photograph you just posted on the beach or wherever it was, and you had turnip jeans on. And I just thought, he just looks so cool with that.
I mean, like, these guys.
Yeah. But you're making it cool again. You're reclaiming something that's classic, you know.
Right.
And turning it around because you're wearing it like you do, you know. It's just.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
I just turnip because, and for us, a turnip is a vegetable.
Oh,
it's like a squash.
What were you wearing?
Yeah, I was all in turnips. It's a whole thing. It's my new Lady Gaga thing. Instead of a meat dress, I'm wearing a turnip suit.
Going back to you as a band then, and more importantly your music, when I was in a band, have died to have written a song as beautiful as Gracefully. What song would you guys have ideally loved to have written other than your own music? What really would you say straight away would have gone, I would have killed to have written that track? Is there
For me personally, I think just a song that I wish I had written, honestly, is Imagine by John Lennon. I just think that lyrically it's so good. And it would be my one song that I wish I wrote.
Yeah.
If I hadn't.
Yeah.
I love a song for you, Leon Russell, but you know, most people know the Donny Hathaway version, but I just think that's just a gorgeous song. Yeah, but there's a lot. I mean, you know, we can sit here for days talking about that. I love that question.
But so many people don't think about immediately Donny Hathaway, for example. You know, whereas Donny Hathaway, we did something with a blues artist, Ollie Brown, the other day, and he'd done a Donny Hathaway cover, but he was blown away that I knew it was a Donny Hathaway song.
Oh wow!
And it was like that, and that was enough for us, me and Russ, because we loved Donny Hathaway, and we was just like that was enough. We wanted to go and see the guy because he respected Donny Hathaway, so it was like you know. Anyway, sorry.
Well, I like Hendrix's version of Dylan's "All Along the Watchtower" is probably one of the, for me, when I hear that song, the way he recorded it, and there's something, since I heard it the first time when I was like 13 years old or 12 years old, that is the finest recording, and the way it sounds and feels, it just always makes me excited.
Have you ever seen how it's been used in, like, with Nail and I, for example, the film, where they try to recapture the vibe of the 70s or the late 60s and the 70s? You should see that film.
What is the film?
With Nail and I. It's about two out-of-work actors, and they go away. Basically, they're out-of-work actors, and they have got no money, they want drugs, they want drink, and they go away for a weekend to get away from the manic scene of London, and they go to this country house in the middle of nowhere, and they basically try and relive what they do in London in the middle of this country house in the middle of nowhere. And when they leave London, All Along the Watchtower, I believe is, if I'm right, Russ, isn't it? Yeah, there you go, see, there we go, verbal nod there. But it just totally encapsulates that feeling of freedom and breaking out of the city and going away. And it's Richard E. Grant and Paul McGann are the two actors. But honestly, you should see it. You will laugh like you've never laughed.
I like it.
Honestly, it's with Nail and I. It's, and honestly, I'll change your life. You've changed my life. I've given you something back. Honestly, thank you. And tie yourself for the song that you wish you could.
Oh, song. Well, I've got two songs inside fighting to come out of my mouth, so I'm just going to say them both. If it's a slow song, it's got to be Change Is Going to Come.
Right? Yeah.
And if it's a fast song, it's Do You Love Me?
Contours.
All right. You know, Dirty Dancing. Just fucking makes my body move.
Yeah.
Like nothing else. Like it's just so simple and direct and in your face and just screams at you. It's just like, you know. And it's so silly. We really think about the lyric content. You know, do you love me now that I can dance?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, now I'm with you now. Yeah. We're having a rendition tonight,
I wish. So those two songs. And Change Is Going to Come for obvious reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was writing that, I was thinking, what song would I put in there? And I was thinking, You Don't Miss Your Water. From Otis, and believe it or not, another one, I mean, London's Calling by The Clash for me is just, I'm not a massive Clash fan, but I just love that song. It just encapsulates, again, a sound. But then, all out of left field came Since I've Been Loving You, Led Zeppelin. And it's and still to this day, and Richard, you'll probably get me on this one, it's the blooming squeak on the bass drum.
Yeah.
You can hear it in the beat. I love that too.
Yeah.
And you just think, that is just genius.
Yeah.
They have left the squeaking on the bass drum. And oh, but anyway, sorry, I'm glad you
talked about that.
Yeah. I'm glad you related to that again, guys. I'm out, guys, because honestly, every question I had, you were almost like leading into the next question. So there isn't really much more I can say other than thank you ever so much for all what you've done for us in the last year and a half or whatever as music fans.
Yeah, it's a circular thing with us. It's literally the gas in our tanks. So thank you, thank you, Ben.
You guys have been used too.
Sorry?
Ben.
Oh yeah, Ben. Yeah. He's coming.
I can't leave that. Ben around with so much.
Yeah, he's coming to 3 shows next week.
Oh, great. Yeah, we were thinking about asking him to do like a on the road retrospective.
Yeah, we can ask him. Yeah, the moment is printed and everything.
Look at us. We know Uber Rock by name. We know the reporters by name.
Yeah. Well, thank you ever so much for your time, guys. I think we're going to hand you over to somebody else now, actually. So,
I hope she's gentle.
And thanks for taking the time to talk with us on Uber Rock, and we'll see you again soon.
Oh, wait, last question.
Yes.
Who's ready with Sam Cooke? No, joking.
Ready with Sam Cooke. I'll go with Otis. Every time you
I want to choose Otis as a singer and Sam as a writer.
Thank you ever so much, guys. It's much appreciated. No, thank you.